Hello everyone, how are you today? Welcome in to Tuesday Talk with Gail Taggart, and I am here today because we are going to talk about some mindset. And do you have mindset? What is your growth mindset? Do you have lack of belief? Do you have lack of confidence? Are you self-sabotaging yourself, or is it procrastination? Or do you have other things that you are just not sure about and you're not sure how to overcome it? Well, I am here to empower women that are 60 plus to transform their fears and their doubts into their strengths so that they can live their desired life. And so today we're going to start with surrounding yourself with a growth mindset. You really want to surround yourself with people that have a growth mindset. Jim Rohn says you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most of your time with. That really means a lot. It says a lot about your circle of friends, about your circle of associates at work, and what the significance is that they play on you as far as your emotions go, as far as your personality, your character goes. And so there's a lot to be said about that. So on some research on growth mindset, there's a couple of things that I just want to touch on just real briefly today, because I could talk about this for hours. And so you have to develop your mindset. You have to develop how you want to train your mind, how you want to change your beliefs, how you want to speak, how you want to carry yourself. There's a whole process to it. It's not done overnight. I have been working on a growth mindset for about 3 years now. It is a process and it takes time. I tell you, it's not overnight success, but it can be achieved. It can be done. I have to say from a personal experience that I have grown so much from my mindfulness work that I have done over the last 3 years. And my husband has noticed it. I've had friends that notice it. So it's definitely something that it helps you to gain that confidence that you want, to be able to walk into a room with confidence, with your shoulders back and your head up high, right? It doesn't mean you're stuck up or, whatever, what people say sometimes. They'll say, oh, look at her, she thinks she's great. It doesn't mean that at all. It doesn't. It just means you carry yourself with pride. It means you carry yourself with confidence. And that is something that can be achieved. And you should be proud of yourself, because that will carry you through life, in business, in your personal life, in all your walks of life. So, hi Jenny, thanks for joining today. So I wanted to just let you know about mindset. And you think about mindset, think about the Olympian Simone Biles. She checked out of doing the Olympics a couple of years ago because her mind was not straight. She was not in that mindset to go in there and win the gold medal. She had to work through some things, and it took her a little bit of time. Look at Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey started as a journalist. She was a reporter in Chicago. And then look where she is today. She's a billionaire because she had confidence that she grew into, she had to learn. And so if you can see people like that are just average people, they were average people at the beginning, and how they just grew into something else, something bigger, something that really made them stand out. And so that is something you want to strive for. You want to strive to have that mindset. This was coined by a Stanford psychologist, is Carol Dweck in 2006. And it came out of a book that she wrote, that someone with a growth mindset thrives on challenges. And so if you thrive on a challenge, then you have a growth mindset. You have that mindset of intelligence, of skill, of talent, and you're going to work through that through patience and hard work. But if you have a mindset of not being able to do something, then that's called a fixed mindset. And in a fixed mindset, that mindset assumes that the character's intelligence and creativity ability are static. That means they're stuck. They're stuck in space, stuck in our head. We don't have that energy flowing through our body. So, hi Kendra, thanks for joining. And so without that energy flowing through your body, then you cannot get that creativity going. You can't get those juices. You've heard that phrase. Get those creative juices going. So when you have a fixed mindset, I started to say a fixed income. When you have a fixed mindset, that holds you back. But when you have a positive mindset, a growth mindset, then that means you are opening yourself vastly to anything that could happen, any potentials. You could have anything you wanted. You could. You have to believe that. And so you don't want to have that fixed mindset. So today we're just going to talk about a couple of things that's going to help you kind of get out of that fixed mindset into a mindset that will help you. And every mind has room to grow. And, you want to think about that. Our mind is broad. It's huge. Our brain is amazing. It's a miracle. And so you have to use it. You've heard the coin, use it or lose it, right? Well, that is actually true. If you don't use your mind and learn new things, then you will stop growing. Don't ever stop growing. When you stop growing, you're dead. And I hope you're not dead. I want you to be alive. I want you to enjoy life. I want you to live it to its fullest. I want you to change your mindset. Change it about everything. My husband and I were driving. He had a doctor's appointment this morning. And we were driving and he said something to the effect that, well, he tried to do something. And I said, what? I go, what did you say? And he's heard me talking about changing your words, changing your thoughts, changing your beliefs. And then he said, I can do it. And I said, you're right, you can. And so we just have to be reminded. That's all. We just need a reminder. So I'm going to just give you just a couple of things here, to let you know about growth mindset. Did you know that people that have that growth mindset, especially if you're older, if you're in your after 50s or 55 and older, I'd say more 60s and older, then you have to keep a healthier mindset. You have to want to stay motivated. You want to stay in creative space. You want to stay social. You want to be able to engage with community. Because if you stop doing that, then you become depressed, lonely, isolated. What does that do for your mindset? That puts you into a fixed mindset. So you don't want that. You want to stay in a growth mindset where it's healthier. You're living healthier. You're happier. You're feeling fulfilled. You're having a good life. And it doesn't mean you have to go out and have riches and, live in a fancy house or a big car, drive big cars, or it doesn't mean any of that. It means what you think about is what you become. So you want to have that growth mindset. It tends to happen in older people that their growth mindset does kind of, it makes a larger cognitive gains to help them if they have that fixed mindset. Healthier aging and living longer independently has been proven. It's in the different journals of medicine. It's in the International Journal of Aging and Human Development. It's in Frontiers in Psychology. So it's associated with having a fixed mindset is associated with having higher rates of stress, of mental health, of lower cognitive abilities. So, you may see somebody that's very spry and just walks about and just happy and sings or whistles and, they're just bouncing around, right? Or you may see someone that possibly the same age with their shoulders forward, with them being humdrum, with them shuffling their feet. So you can tell by watching people how their body movements are, how they hold themselves, their posture, in how they carry themselves, about what type of mindset they're in. So you can always develop a growth mindset. Never, ever forget that. For work, for social, for home, for school, for anything, you can always develop it. And so I'm just going to give you a couple of steps here today so that you can recognize and you can learn to move past them. So you want to replace your inner critic with curiosity. So, and if you're always nagging, self-doubting yourself, and you've got that fixed mindset, will that help you achieve what you're trying to achieve? Will it help you be ambitious? Instead of trying to speak to yourself, try speaking to yourself in a kind manner, with compassion and encouragement, because you can do things. You can change. Think of the way you talk to a friend or a loved one. Do you talk disparagingly to them? Are you discouraging them? Or are you, just rooting them on, right? No. So you want to be able to change that, change your thinking, and try to do it immediately if you can. Then I want you to identify your why. Identify your why. If you realize you have a fixed mindset about something, it's probably a sign that you care about a goal on the other side, but you're hesitating to do it. You're having a why moment or a why meaning. Why is that? Why do I want that goal? Why do I want to achieve this? What is it? Why do I want to change jobs? Is it really going to be better on the other side? Is the grass always greener on the other side? Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. So you have to be specific about your why. Learn to be specific so that you know what your goal is. The key is staying motivated. That's very important. Even when you have setbacks, you have to stay motivated and try asking yourself about why this particular thing matters to you. Why do you want to learn it? Say it's a new language. Say it's a new craft. What is it that you want to learn? And why do you want to learn it? And is it something that's going to fulfill you? Will it help you build a friendship with someone else? Is there a career switch? Surround yourself with growth-minded people. That's what I said at the beginning, what Jim Rohn says. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You know, that's people you work with, people you hang around with, socialize with. They can influence your character. And so you want to make sure you are with the people that will influence you in a positive way. If they're negative Nellies all the time, then why do you want to be around them? That's not what you want. You want someone that's going to uplift you, encourage you, support you, give you what you are needing, feed you, love you. And that's, you know, that's so important. That's so important. So a growth mindset is, it's challenging. I will say that. It takes time. You have to change the way you think. You have to change opportunities. You have to look at criticisms in a different way. You'll have to look at constructive criticism. Mindfulness has, well, you want to have a collaboration with people that have mindfulness habits, good mindfulness habits, so that they can help you grow. Embrace your failure, because you're always learning something when you fail. Don't look at it like I failed. Look at it like, what did I learn from this? What can I do differently moving forward? How can I change this? How can I make it better? Anything that's truly meaningful in your life is going to come with failure. I have to say, I've been in the network marketing business for, was 5 years. And I've had lots of ups and downs, and it's been a struggle. And I definitely, there were many times I was like, I'm just, what's the point? What's the point? I really don't know that this is even for me. And it could or couldn't be. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But don't let failure hold you back from something that you truly love. If you love doing it, then do it. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from that failure. Look at children. Look at them. They are trying to ride a tricycle and they fall off. They get back on it. Trying to learn how to ride a bike. They fall off. They get back on it. So be like a child and embrace it. And don't look at it as a setback. Setbacks have actually motivated people to succeed in the long run. So remember, while you may not be getting the results that you want, but don't quit. Don't quit. I have a sign that I keep in front of me, and it's never give up. Never give up. And so I look at that a lot, because there's times when I just get so frustrated, especially if I'm doing something techie, because I'm very challenged in the techie world. Although I'm learning. I mastered CapCut this week, and I'm so proud of myself. So I was proud of myself for that one. And so I want you to channel the inner child. Oh my goodness. Remember we were just talking about riding a bike and falling off and getting back on? But think about it. Think like a child does. They see wonder in everything. They go outside and they see the smallest little flower and they pick it up and just think it's just amazing. They see a little bug on the ground and they pick it up and they put it in their hand and they're not afraid, and it just crawls all over the hand. They're just amazed by it because they have that creativity. They have that curiosity. So you want to have that creativity, that inner child challenge. That's a hard one to say. So you want to tap into that growth mindset. to maintain that childlike possibilities that you have. That's what they call the beginner's mind as a child. I can understand that. Take a painting class for the first time. I've always wanted to paint, and that is something that I will do. I've always wanted to. Always wanted to work with pottery, work with my hands, and I will do that too. And so, you know, just try something that makes you feel like a child again. So these are the things that kind of will help you with your mindset. And no matter what age, you can expand your world. You can expand your world with the discovery, just like a child. The spirit of discovery, you turn a growth mindset. I mean, that's what our brain is built to develop, a new skill. It's developed to develop that skill for your life. So why not start today? Start today. I mean, why would you not? This is something that you need to develop, is a growth mindset. I suggest that you start with your morning meditation, and then after you do your morning meditation, then journal out your feelings. Write out 3 things you're grateful for. And then once you write out the 3 things that you're grateful for, I want you to write out 3 more things that, in a positive affirmation, what those 3 things that you are grateful for. I want you to write into a positive affirmation statement of why you are grateful for those 3 things in your life. It could be anything. Do that every single day and see where you are. Try it for a week and then see where you are at the end of the week. Mindset's very important. It's something that we have to learn how to work. It's something we have to master. It takes a lot of work. There are a lot of things in our mind that hold us back, that are things from our childhood, that are things probably before we were even born. And I know you probably think that's crazy. And I thought it was crazy too when I first heard it. But it's true, it's genetic. A lot of the things that you believe, you've been taught by someone else. Someone down the road, whether it's a parent doing the very best they can, whether it's aunts, uncles, grandparents, neighbors, babysitters, teachers, whoever. They were doing the best that they could. And they thought they were doing the best. But sometimes they were feeding us things that we thought were good things, and they always weren't good things. So we have a tape recorder going on in our mind. It's a constant recorder that goes on. It's that chatter. And I have to say, this week, I've had some negative chatter going on in my mind. It started on Saturday, and I was just like, where is this coming from? What is going on? They were old stories that were coming back and starting to play over in my mind. The good thing through all my mindset work is that I recognized it. And if you can recognize the chatter of the old recordings that are going on continuously, if you can recognize it, you can stop it. And when you hear it, then you're like, nope, that's not true. Those are lies, and I'm not going back there. And then I pray, and I ask God to help me, and to clear my mind, and to clear those pathways that are going on, those stories that are going on in my brain, neural pathways that are going crazy in my head. And so I have felt better since yesterday, but it bothered me all weekend long. There's a lot of negative energy out in the world right now. And so you have to shut it off. You have to turn it away. If you don't want to hear the news, don't listen to the news. But just keep your mind as positive as you can. This is a mindset. It takes work. It takes practice. So I want to invite you. I am opening my calendar for calls, and I just want to invite you for a brief call just to talk about how your mindset is. And let's just pick my mind. You pick my mind and see if I can give you some advice on how to help you with your growth mindset. So if you're interested in that, just drop call below and I will be happy to get back with you and we can have a call. I will talk to you on next Tuesday, and I hope you guys go and have a wonderful day, and remember to awaken your glow and let your vitality flow. See you next time. Bye.